Thanks for joining me today. The library is open limited hours this summer for quick browsing, 30-minute computer sessions, and materials pickup and drop-off. The display case across from the fish tank was looking forlorn. Here comes another bright idea to fill the box so patrons will have something fun to look at on the way inside. A lifelong collection of seashells is what I'd like to share with you today. A family trip to Florida when I was a senior year in high school started my collecting journey. This bit of coral and this starfish right here, that's where it all started. On that trip, I also saw a Greek diving festival and witnessed the triumphant look of the young man who emerged from the water with the coveted prize. I had to ask, why do people collect things anyway? The answer was very interesting and pertinent to our times. The first thing is revisiting our childhood, such as I just did with you. It connects to a time and a place we feel strongly about, and it helps to ease the insecurity about losing a part of ourselves. It also keeps the past alive. What do you like to collect? When one collects, one experiments with arranging, organizing, and presenting, such as I'm doing here, a part of the world that may serve to provide a safety zone, a place of refuge where fears are calmed and insecurity is managed. This all sounds like something we can use in these uncertain days. Let's talk about the shells themselves. Broadly, there are families of shells like other scientific classifications in nature. No expert myself, I'd like to read just one page from the Oceana Pocket Guide called Shells. It's a small book, and reading together creates a friendly warmth of its own. Hang in there, there's a surprise ending. Seashells are exquisite wonders of nature which have demanded a response from mankind. Indeed, have been inextricably linked with the human story since the dawn of civilization. The appreciation, study, enjoyment, and collecting of seashells is probably as widespread now as at any time in history. Appreciation because few have failed to be intrigued and amazed at their diversity and complexity of color, shape, and form. Shells have stimulated the artistic, promoted ideas in design and architecture, inspired musicians and poets, and have led to the publication of some of the most beautiful books ever produced for natural historians. Scientifically known as marine mollusks, seashells are the hard outer covering of highly adaptable snails that inhabit the world's oceans in a wide range of environments and at varying depths. These shells can be found washed ashore, emptied of the soft bodies that once inhabited them, in rock pools, beneath mud and sand at low tide, in shallow water, and down to the darkest depths. As objects of scientific study, shells have a lot to offer. They're of interest in medical research, general education, relation to the environment, and ecological issues. Most importantly, they're also an important food source and linked with a relatively new science known as mariculture. The golden age of shell collecting was during the 200 years of discovery and exploring that drew to a close at the turn of the century. But conchology, the study of collecting shells, as it's correctly termed, has entered a new era. Thanks to modern fishing methods, rare shells that were once only a handful in old and faded specimens in museums are now available to everyone. Modern color photography captures the intricate beauty of shells in all their wonder, and there are many excellent books on the subject. So, IW conchologists, the study of seashells. So I just have a couple of examples here. Gastropods, or sea snails, is the largest group in the ocean, and the little animals, live in there, and then in good time they take their exit, and this is what washes up on the beach. I hope you can come by the library and see all the wonderful things in the case. Bivalves are shells that do this. Anything like clams and scallops. This happens to be a mussel shell from the Mussel Shell River in Montana, a freshwater bivalve, one of the best gifts my niece Sarah ever gave me. So cephalopods, or the chambered nautilus, it's the only seashell I ever lost. And I'm still bummed about it. I don't know what happened to it. So remember, that was the name of the boat in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the Nautilus. And a very small group of shells are called Cephalopods, an example of which is this seashell. So now, our seashell adventure is coming into port. Lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to all those library coloring friends and share a couple of nautical color palettes. See the blue of the sky and the water, the green seagrass, the white clouds, and black accents as if on the wings of a gull. And number 2, pink corals and blue tropical seas on a sandy background. I forgot to mention, there's homework. Google images of sand under a microscope. It's amazing. Aloha!